Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this devil platform with another message. I will say this is a lovely Sabbath day in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall rest therein. Just coming with you, to you, with a short message that the Most High Yah has put on my heart. And the topic is believe and trust in the arm of Yahuwah. Believe and trust in the arm of Yahuwah. So I want to say to you all, I hope you are having a great Sabbath day and being blessed and safe at the same time. Um, I'm going to bring a short lesson here, and I hope that it can help those out there that are needing much understanding in how to trust and believe in Yahuwah and how he has always been there. Always. It's nothing going on that he didn't know about before it came upon you. He knows the beginning to the end. We need to trust in what he has shown us from the beginning of time, even until today. We have to trust and believe that he got this here. There are many people who want to teach and deceive many without turning people to the Most High Yah. They want to teach you in what they believe from what they can precept, what they can line, and what they have studied in all the books and in the Hebrew language. But they don't want to really draw you to the bosom of the Most High Yah. You need to be drawn in this day and time to understand the power that rests in the Father, in the heavens, in the Creator, and how he have used that power throughout times to get you to where you at now. But you're not being led in that direction to just trust in him based on all the things that is created, all the things that has been created in the beginning of times. You at least have to know somewhere in you that it just didn't pop up overnight, or it just didn't come out of nowhere. I know thousands and millions of people believe in the great bang or boom or whatever. But I'm here to tell you, it is high time you out there start to believe in the Most High Yah on. Sister Deborah have in the last, I say, year and a half, have been asking and pleading with you all out there to do your deep study. Once you do your deep study, come on these platforms and teach that thing, because those that are on here, they're not going to take you nowhere near that. And this is what's going to hold the people up in this day and time, in the days that we are facing. You're going to have to understand that arm. You're going to have to understand that right hand. And I have pleaded with many of you all to do a study on the right hand. I don't believe people really care less because they don't understand. That's the only thing that's going to hold you up in the times to come. Because the things that we're going up against is pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy, you guys. And I know it don't feel like it, because it feel like, oh, we're just not having to labor and work, and we're not having to do the daily things in which we have been doing throughout life. It's like the world has put a freeze on our lives, and we walking around like it's a good thing. And we don't understand their whole purpose behind it. And we're sitting loving what we're resting in today, and not even taking out the time to, these times that the world has put you in a situation, you should have been studying. You should have been searching the scriptures, hearing what comes out of the voice of the Most High Yah through the scriptures. You needed to have been praying and fasting and seeking the Most High Yah to lead and direct you in the right and in the proper way. Kick to the curve a lot of this stuff that's going on these platforms. When you realize this is a devil's platform, Facebook, YouTube, all of them are owned by the work of Satan. then you realize that Sister Deborah is not just getting on this platform, calling it the devil platform because she think that it sounds good or it's just something. She's telling you, warning you really pretty much that when you get on here, don't think that you're getting the things that feed your spirit. You're getting everything to feed your dark flesh, and that's it. And you're content, like I said, in time past, you're constantly being content. When Deborah finna give you something for your spirit, man. And with this here, if you have not recognized that you are spirit, then therefore you don't know anything about spirit and truth. You can't be branded for his name's sake. You don't have the faith that the Most High has given his. You cannot know spirit and truth. You have not the Ruach. Only when you're able to identify that you are a spirit, and that spirit wants to be connected to Yeshua HaMashiach mission. That spirit wants the Ruach HaKodesh. That spirit believes Yah in everything that he stands for. Then he come and he abide in thee. In what? Your flesh? No, your spirit. Okay? He will destroy your flesh if he knew that he had plans for your spirit and you decided to continue to rumble in your flesh in darkness. He would take your flesh out of here just to save your spirit that he had already assigned. That's how wonderful he is. Now, this topic, this message is about believing and trusting in the arm of Yahuwah. It is also a mystery, and you all have not been taught it on this devil platform. You cannot say that you heard it on this devil platform because you haven't. I've been on here 3 years, and they don't talk this type of language. But Sister Deborah is going to bring it to you because the Most High laid it on my heart. I was going into a deeper study into something. And then it's amazing. I like him doing it because it's when I think that it's about what I want to talk about from what he's shown me as a prophetess in the wilderness, he'll turn around and give me what he know the people need. So this message is for you. And we're going to start off in Psalms 98 and chapter 98 and verse 1. This is a wonderful lesson for a Sabbath day as this and for where we are at in the year 2020. This is what we have to understand how we can. A lot of people don't understand that you can always stand for justice and righteous. People think justice and righteous mean be violent, be destructive, or go out there and march and fight and shoot. No. Where is it that Yah created within himself justice and righteousness, and he's running around just killing and destroying and being destructive? I think a person that says, "Oh, we can't stand on righteousness because we can't go out there and fight and kill and act the way they're acting, or we'll get killed and all." You need to understand what justice and righteousness is. It means stand on it. You can't stand on it without faith. So that's going back to those who are weak in their understanding. But because they've been on the platform so long, they're considered the high level and they're teaching you at a low level speed. But you're eating it up, so that's where you need to be. So I say Psalms 98, chapter 98, verse 1. Chapter 98, verse 1. And it reads, "Oh, sing unto Yahuwah a new song, for he has done marvelous things. His right hand," see that right hand? You all need to study. You all need to, these men on this platform need to do a deep search and study on the right hand. They'll find out everything they thought they knew. They didn't know anything. When they thought they was awakened, they was in a deep sleep on medication. Because when you learn about that right hand and that stretched out arm, you'll find out you really didn't know nothing. It's a big mystery in that. So here in Psalms chapter number 98, verse 1, "Oh, sing unto Yahuwah a new song, for he has done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm," see, his holy arm has gotten him the victory. You all don't understand that this is the only way you're going to be delivered from anything that goes on in this world today, that went on in the world yesterday. It's through these two entities. And because Sister Deborah been saying it for a year and a half, she has been pleading with you all on these devil platforms. Do your search about the right hand and stretched out arm, because it's going to let you have that comfort that you need. It's going to let you believe and trust in Yah in a way that you have never. Okay? But because you're so busy wanting to know things that has no connection to the spiritual part of Yah, you all wants to just ride on the fleshly part of what man is teaching you. Understand the spiritual part, because that's what's going to give you the victory. That's what's going to defeat the things that's coming upon us, and the things that has come upon us is the right hand and the stretched out arm of the Most High God. So Sister Deborah finna teach a lesson showing you how it has been since Genesis. It's going to always be the right hand and the stretched out arm. So I want you to understand what the right hand is. My lesson is not covering the right hand, but a lot of times the right hand is detached to the stretched out arm. So the topic is about trusting in his arm. Okay. So I want you to just pay attention to that. We're going to go Psalms 98 again in verse 1. Psalms chapter 98 and verse 1. And it sings, "Oh, sing unto Yahuwah a new song, for he has done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm has gotten him the victory." Do you see what I'm saying? How dare we stand and say we love him, we trust him, we have him in us, and we don't even understand what the part of him that give us victory, that fight these battles for us. Okay? That's because we ain't been taught it. They're not going to teach those things that really has to do with Yah in the spirit. They're going to teach you those things that man has spoken in his word that has to do with your flesh. And they're going to leave you right there. And you're going to be lost without a call while you're in your deepest awakening. Okay? Now, we're going to start in Exodus. Exodus chapter 6. Exodus chapter 6. Verse 6. You can also jot these chapters and verses down so you can go back and you can read it. It's very important that you do so you can understand. Well, wait a minute. You mean he been fighting with the right hand and the stretched out arm? You mean the stretched out arm is the one that did the work? See, y'all just don't understand. From the beginning, it was present. When he said, "Let it be," bam, there it was. You see, that's a part of who Yah is. That's why he told Yeshua, "Sit here on the right hand till I do what I do best. And I'm going to use my stretched out arms to make that earth your footstool." See, you all don't understand that. That same stretched out arm is the same one that's going to defeat everything that's going on right today. You sitting back waiting for Babylon to come down, go down just because a bunch of men have taught it to you like that. It's not going to rumble your way. It's not going to rumble your way. But you better trust that victory is going to be won through that right hand and that stretched out arm. That stretched out arm is what this topic is about. That right hand is very powerful. I wouldn't mess with that. I don't care what nobody see. And you have to understand they come hand in hand. But this topic is about that arm, because this is where he led me, to the arm. So we're going to go to Exodus chapter 6 and verse 6. Exodus chapter 6 and verse 6. And let us read. And it reads, "Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am Yahuwah, and I will bring you out from under the burdens and under the Egypts, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm." Do you hear me? Understand that. Yah is saying how he's showing you how he brought you out. Now, how is it that you believe when men get on this platform, they tell you about what all he did back in the time we were in Pharaoh's control and under bondage, and how the Most High Yah brought us out, and never tell you and teach you how he did it? That's because we have bypassed so much spirit and truth in this word to where we were willing to connect to precepts and lines and little here other things that does not carry any power. It's just words that came out of the man's mouth connecting with another word that came out of another man's mouth in this book. You got to focus on what comes out of the mouth of Yah. Now here he is actually telling us what actually took place. This is in Exodus chapter 6, verse 6. Let me see if I'm in the right place. Yeah, in Egypt. This is when the children of Israel was in Egypt. Wherefore said unto the children of Israel, I am Yahuwah. I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egypts, and I would rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you. He's telling you, do you hear me, people? He's telling you how he brought you out. See, but what they teach you on these platforms is to be concerned about Babylon going down, how Babylon gonna be destroyed. And guess what? They never tell you how the spirit is gonna rumble in the situation. It's never going to be like you're looking for it to be, because man has set it up as if you're going to be standing on the earth and you're going to see Babylon come down the way they have been in a strong delusion to believe, because they refuse to tell spirit and truth. They've refused to teach you how this is going to be done in many verses. The Most High talks about strong delusion and how he's going to let them believe a lie than to believe the truth. You mean to tell me this is something the Most High y'all gonna do? Yes. Yes. Why? Too many millions of years have you all followed man in the way they proceed in precept it and line it and little here in their books and what they're saying. And you fail to hear what comes out of the voice and the mouth of Yah. You see, now in here again, he's telling you that he redeemed you with a stretched out arm. Who is this? This is Yahweh. This is his power. He's telling you what part of his power he used. 99.9 of the men on these platforms will never teach you that. They so busy seeing the destructive part of what they want to see and what they want to believe, they can't give you the word to where you can relax and trust and believe that y'all got this. Just as simple as that. Look how simple that is. He's telling you he redeemed you with the stretched out arm and with great judgment. You see, he's telling you what he done for you back when you was in Egypt. See, and that is in Exodus chapter 6, verse 6. He's telling you how he used his stretched out arm to redeem you and deliver you. So why is it we're not being taught that the situation we're in this day and time with this vaccine and we're not being told these things? It's because the whole key is to get you so distanced from spirit and truth that you can only understand in your flesh. Learn who your spirit is so you may abide in Yahuwah and he can abide in you. He can't abide in you if you don't even know who your spirit man is. He can't abide in you if your flesh is still in control of your spirit. Okay? Now, let's go to Chronicles, 2nd Chronicles. Let's go to 2nd Chronicles. 2nd Chronicles, chapter 6, verse 32. 2nd Chronicles chapter 6 and verse 32. Moreover, concerning the strangers, which is not of thy people, yeah, which is not of thy people. Let me get it out. I had wrote it down. That's one thing I shouldn't do. I should just turn it to the verses instead of writing it down, because my handwriting, and sometimes I can't even read my own handwriting. Now, and everybody tell me I got good handwriting, but look here. I don't know what I missed. I'm going to 2nd Chronicles, chapter 6 and 30, chapter 6 and 32, and it reads, Moreover, concerning the stranger, which is not of the people of Israel. Now, this is another nation of people. He's talking this. Now, listen to how he's doing with them. So that's what I said to you all. Don't estimate. I mean, I ain't gonna say that's not the proper word. Don't just get on these platforms. Things cause you on this platform and you listen to these people for year after year after they're actually feeding your spirit man. Your spirit man is hungry and thirsty. Your spirit man is malnutrition and in an anorexium state of mind. Why? Because it has no oil in its lamp. And because there's no oil in its lamp, thou art willing to allow your flesh to have dominion over the spirit of who you are. Because your spirit is the only part that connects to Yah's spirit. But if your spirit don't even know it exists as being the light in which the Most High had blown the breath of life into, then therefore you're just standing around with no oil in your lamp. In your light is dimmed and your flesh been running it. So it's high time to understand the Most High in spirit and in truth. Now here in Second Chronicles chapter 6 and verse 32, it reads, moreover, concerning the strangers, which is not of thy people of Israel, but is come from far country, for thy great name's sake, and thy mighty hand and thy stretched out arm, if they come and pray in this house. You see, these people come in his great name, for his great name's sake, which is Yahuwah. And and for his name's sake, and for his mighty hand and his stretched out arm. You know what that's saying, you all out there? You know all them people they calling the heathens and the Gentiles? This is what it's talking about, strangers. These are other nationalities outside of Hebrew Israelite, that they are willing to come because of his name's sake. And what else? They know about and they heard about the stretched out arm and his mighty hand. And here it is, you all calling yourself Hebrew Israelites and don't know a thing about the stretched out arm nor his mighty hand, which is his right hand. You don't know anything about it. But these people that was coming from far countries, okay, that are not Israelites, they were coming because of his great namesake. And watch this here, thy mighty hand and thy stretched out arm. Well, where are you at? These are strangers. They were able to discern, are able to know about his namesake, his right hand, and his stretched out arm. To where you have hundreds of people teaching you on these devil platform won't even reveal to you his right hand and who that is. Won't even reveal to you his stretched out arm and who that is and what does it consist of. Because they're so busy teaching you your flesh. Because your flesh is giving them what their flesh needs. Praise and uplifting and worship. So therefore you are idling. They are your idols and you are worshiping them. So they are deceiving you to take you from Yah. These are the sort of things they should be leading you to. His right hand, his stretched out arm, who he is in the spirit. Because that's where you got the victory. You didn't get the victory in man. Man didn't give you the victory, but that's the way y'all portrayed him on these platforms. You would rather believe a lie than the truth, because the truth is Yah. And that's what that's about. When he said they would rather believe a lie than the truth, because the lie coming from the flesh, but the truth coming from the spirit. And they don't, 99.9 of you all don't even know that you are a light, which is a spirit. And I know you've heard about it, a spirit, but really knowing that that spirit is the only part that can worship God. Your flesh can't worship him. So everything you do in your flesh to worship Yah don't mean nothing. You get on it, your knees, you can turn to the east, you can turn to the west, you can turn to the south. You get on your knees and you can hoop and holler. You can say the Lord's Prayer. You can do whatever you want. All that is flesh and vain. When a man understands he has a spirit that can only worship Yahuwah, he began to get the flesh under the subjection to his spirit, that he may worship the Most High Yah in spirit and in truth. Okay, so here in this here is showing you that strangers had sense enough to come from far for his name's sake. And what else? His right hand and his what? Stretched out arm. They knew what it was. They knew what it was consist of. To where 99.9 of you on this devil platform calling yourself Hebrew Israelite don't know nothing about your right, the right hand of the Father, nor his stretched out arm. And that's sad. Okay, because Sister Deborah been saying it for a year and a half, and no one grips it. No one do they deep study. No one even they don't care because they so in tune with being fed in their flesh. So they kick away the things which is contained in the spirit, and it's sad. It's sad because the Most High suffered it to be. That means lost souls. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 9 and 29. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 9 and 29. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 9 and 29. I better go there as well. Even though I wrote it down, my handwriting seemed to scribble travel today. I mean, all over the place. We're going to Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 29. And right now, I am in the Old Testament because the Most High is trying to let you all understand what is actually going on. And because of these things in which you're really not getting, then therefore you don't know how to endure what it's about and what has taken place, because it's more to come. And this is where you're going to have to really understand what you're going to be how you're going to be able to come before the Most High Yah is understanding what he's really consists of, because 99.9 of you don't. All you understand is what these men on these devil platforms teach you day and night, day after day, week after week, every Sabbath, and you just flaunt for it. Feast days and all these things that they're forming, performing, and that's all it is. It's connected to your flesh. Your flesh don't inherit eternal life, but your spirit do. So if you're living in your flesh all this time you're on the earth, know that that's your damnation. That's not your damnation, but that's where you're going to end up, where your flesh is going. So you have nothing eternal in the spirit of the Most High Yah, because you want to serve him in your flesh. You want to do everything fleshly. You want to hear his messages in your flesh. You want to believe in your flesh. You want to trust in your flesh. You want to do everything, because when you trusting in man and what man is teaching without crying out to him, seeking him to let you recognize and come in tune with your spirit man, so that you can get what Yeshua said he come to do, fulfill. He said he ain't come to, hey, look, I'm not about the law, and I'm coming out about the law. I'm not coming to talk about the prophets. I'm coming to fulfill. I'm coming to put oil in them lamps that has died out. And that's what his whole mission was about. Okay. And those that are dying and dead, he come to redeem them back to the bosom of where they came down from the heavens in. And that's a beautiful thing. Okay. So they coming to be redeemed back to the Father's bosom. And the way they're going to redeem, he's going to fulfill their lamp with oil. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 9 and verse 29. Deuteronomy chapter 9 and verse 29. And it reads, yet they are the people and thy inheritance, which thou bought it out of the brought it out of brought it out by the mighty power and by the stretched out arm. Okay, now I want to say that again. Deuteronomy 29, chapter 29 and verse 29. I want y'all to hear this, because see, a lot of times they're teaching you all the whole thing that he did, but they ain't showing you spiritual and how he did it. And that same spiritual way he did it in the old is the same way he's going to do it in the new, in this day and time, bringing us out of this bondage. And because we don't see it spiritual, because we have allowed our flesh to be taught what man wants us to know, and not touch on one accord in our spirit with the Ruach HaKodesh nor Yeshua HaMashiach, then therefore we're going to be taught by what our hearts desire. And that is a word out of the mouth of man. Okay, now listen to this. Deuteronomy chapter 9, verse 29. Yea, They are thy people and thy inheritance, which thou brought it out by the mighty power. See, that mighty power was that right hand. Hallelujah. You need to understand who the right hand is. I'm not going to tell you who the right hand is because I've said it so many times on this devil platform. It's like y'all have told me, it's nothing you can say to a people who still feeding their flesh and don't even know who their spirit is. You see what I'm saying? They ain't even tapped into a spirit that they have. You know, they come and go. I mean, they live and die, not even spending no time in the spiritual realm with the Most High Yah. They spent their time worshiping Him in their flesh and thinking they're going to stand before Him and gain eternal. And that's sad. Here, Yahuwah is actually saying that by His mighty hand, He brought you out. Why? Because you were a people. You were His inheritance. And He brought you out by a mighty power. Who is that mighty power? The right hand. That is the right hand of the Father. And then he said, and by the stretched out arm. See that stretched out arm, the arm is connected to the right hand. They carry all the mission of everything that was created, everything that will be destroyed. And everything that you get in, that's the only way you're going to get out. That's the only way you're going to get out. You can't get out by praising and crying out to Yah in your flesh. You cry out in your spirit, He's seeing that mighty right hand and that stretched out arm. The stretched out letting you know, I don't care how high you think I am. This arm going to come all the way where you at. That's how deep and beautiful it is. But we're not taught that. We don't care to be taught that. That's how, see how beauty that is? See how beautiful that is? Let me say that again. He said here in chapter 9 of Deuteronomy, verse 29, verse 29, he's calling, yes, they are thy people. He knows that they are thy people. You are His people. You are His inheritance. Watch this here. Which thou brought it out. He's letting you know, I brought you out once. He's going to bring you out again. He continued from the end of the Genesis all the way to the end of the Bible, bringing this people that he had, that was his inheritance, out of situations. They never really knew how. That's because, man, when it come down to males, they refuse to teach spirit and truth. They only want to teach flesh. The pastors, the bishops, the watchmen, the seers, the mooring. That's all they want to teach. They want to teach you only the things that's consist in the flesh, because that's the only way they can gain credit is in the flesh. If they teach the flesh, they gain credit in the flesh. If they teach which is spirit, they gain that which is spirit. And they're not gaining your spirit. Yah is gaining that which is His spirit. But they gain in the spirit because those are the things He's going to say that, well done, you faithful servant. Those things you gave them of me in the spirit, that they may walk upright with me in their spirit, and I may abide in them and they in me. But how can Yah abide in you and you in Him, not in your flesh? It has to be your spirit. So it's high time that you all, when you speak, start talking about the spirit being that you have. Start talking about how to get these gifts and these treasures and everything in the spirit realm. That's why Sister Deborah have said several times, y'all on this Deborah platform, eating this full meal deal at Mickey D's, all kind of ways on these platforms, ain't getting nothing spirit. Because they're going to refuse every time to give you what is spirit. Because they are on the devil platform and they worship the devil in his spirit and in his truth. And they sat on this devil platform saying Yahuwah, exactly identical to what the Most High gave an example come judgment. They're going to stand before me and they're going to say, I did this, Yahuwah, in your name. I did this in your name. And I did this, identical what they're doing on the devil platform right here today. Identical. So here he's telling you about his mighty power. His mighty power consists of that right hand. But he said, and by the stretched out arm. The stretched out arm, watch the beauty in the stretched out arm. The stretched out arm is mentioned many a times in the Bible. He's trying to let you know, no matter how high I am, I have the power to reach and stretch out all the way low. With all power. I can bring it all the way stretched as low can get. Even in the hell. He can reach, in the burning torment, the darkness, he can reach all the way. He can stretch that right arm all the way out. But we don't know nothing about that. because we refuse to even understand stuff like that. You don't listen to the prophet, the true prophets. You're so busy listening to the false prophets, the false teachers, the false pastors, the false bishop, and then having a nerve to hoop and holler about what the Christians doing. You're being misled and deceived on the platforms where all the Hebrew Israelites are teaching you. It's sad, but it's real. But I thank the Most High here because this is what in the lesson I wanted to teach, but this is the lesson he wanted me to teach. So I go based on his spirit, not mine. Deuteronomy 33. Deuteronomy 33 and verse 27. Deuteronomy 33 and verse 27. He is so good. Yes, he is. Deuteronomy 33 and verse 27. And it reads, the eternal God is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting, hallelujah, arms. Hallelujah. And he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall destroy them. How? With the everlasting arm, or he can do it. That's just who he is. He's showing you what he is capable of doing with his arm. But we don't take to that. We don't care nothing about that. But we want him to destroy Babylon because of what we're going through. Our men will not teach the brethren. They won't spend time with their sons. They won't even spend time with their daughters, self-esteem, bringing their self-esteem up. Because you can't bring your daughter's self-esteem up when you trying to lower your women esteem. And that's what you've been doing from what the Spirit is telling me, the book of Genesis, because you took her order out and you put your own self-order in, and then you wonder why he's keep on talking to men. And you're thinking that he's going to stop talking to you and talk to woman. No, he said he's talking to you because it's been going on since Genesis. You have converted his word 100. He's not going to come and say, okay, let me turn this back to you. No, he's going to let everything rumble. And he's going to destroy everything that has converted his word, has lived his word out of total order. They're teaching you to wait for Babylon to come down. How can you wait for Babylon to come down and you ain't even tapped into your spirit to be able to come on one accord with him? To even prepare yourself for what is right before us. Lots of great sorrow is before us. As I speak, it's great sorrow. But you would never know it. Because you haven't tapped into your spirit, man, to get that information from Yah in the spirit. You have only tapped your flesh into what every man on this devil platforms are teaching you, and you're liking and subscribing, and oh, you this, and oh, you that. But wait a minute. Are we supposed to be worshiping the Most High Yah or worshiping men? Okay. Now, here in Deuteronomy 33 and 27, let me read that again. The eternal Yah is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms, and he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them. See, in the beginning when he said, he was talking to his right hand and his stretched out arm, telling himself, his power, to let this be. In a sense, create that for me. Here he said that shall say, destroy them. He's telling his arm and his right hand to destroy those who have had his people in captivity and in bondage in a very evil and wicked way. See, but we don't know. We won't give him the credit and the glory for this, showing us how he's going to help us out in the days to come and have helped us out in the old. We don't see none of that because they're not going to teach you stuff that has to do with the spiritual realm of who Yah is. You don't want to know all this fleshly stuff. That's why it's very easy for them to find all these books and to pile all these books before you. It's easy for them to take the law and the commandments and use it as an iron claw because it's doing exactly what the country of United States of America has been doing. It's manipulating you, getting the focus, the true focus off of what is true. And that's what they've been doing on these platforms. That's why they don't say anything out of order to the rules and regulations that's on this devil platform. I have never let what I had to say be alternated because of what I want to be or where I want to be on this platform. And a lot of them do. 99.9. Or I can't say this and I can't say no. Wait. Whose side am I on? And who am I going to serve? You see, that's why I don't listen to men. It's because they have not listened to Yah. From Genesis, when he gave that one verse of directions and instruction to Adam. Wasn't no woman on the scene when he gave that to him. And he couldn't even uphold it. He didn't give him nothing to labor. He gave him everything he could ever desire and want. Then turned around and made a woman out of his rib and handed to him. And when it was time for him to live, he threw everything he had to the ground. And then uphold what Yah has said in that one instruction, that one direction. And here we are in the year 2020. They won't teach that to you. You know why? That's spirit and truth. That's where the mystery is at. That's not hidden. See, a lot of things in Genesis has a great mystery, but they won't take you there because they know that they are feeding your flesh. And that's a part of you that's going to be deceived and have been deceived. So that's why they keep telling you things that causes them to be here and you to be here. That's why they got to bring you all these books and all these precepts and this line here and the line there instead of telling you what came out of the mouth of Yah or how to hear when Yah is speaking. Because he said this thing come by hearing. Not they precepts, not they line, not they little here and all they books. It comes by hearing. So I don't care what kind of books you bring in. If you don't have that spiritual ear to hear when Yahuwah is telling you what's what, all those books are vain and vax. All your precepts, your line and little here, all vain and vax. See, those that are led by the Ruach HaKodesh and have the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach in them, they don't have to be precept down, up and down. They don't have to little here and little there. They don't have to grab all the books. They are led by the Spirit of the Most High God. When he said go left, they go left. When he said go right, they go right. So what are you led by? The flesh of man. Why? Because your flesh only wants their flesh understanding and their teaching. You don't want the things which is spirit, which he said he that have an ear, a spiritual ear, earring, can hear. Okay, now let's go to Isaiah. We're going to Isaiah 52. Isaiah 52. Isaiah 52. I really do. I just glorify the Most High, and I thank the Most High for being at that narrow gate. I just love that narrow gate. And even in my life, I can be, no matter where I go, I make sure I don't stand or get in the line. Even when I'm driving, I don't get behind the long line. I get to the narrow one. And it's always, even in the natural, do you see how important the stick spiritual? Because the line can be long and you can have, say, 100 cars in the line. And you'll wonder, why aren't they taking this narrow one where they can go in the same direction? They won't do it. Because people are easily to follow the broad gate. And that's how it is on this devil platform. They rather follow those who've been on here for years and got 3,000, 10,000, 15,000, 100,000, 150,000, 2,000 subscribers and likes, but been feeding nothing but your flesh and have given you nothing, spirit and truth. So when the time comes, which we are on that, you can't. The reason why people are not feeling it is because they think it's what the government has, like I said to the Most High, they have did it such a good setup because they got the people really thinking it's easy, it's okay, it's all is well, and yet in the same got them totally in 100 control, and they ain't saying a word. They content. They on the devil's side. They on the wicked side. They all for it. Won't say anything against the vaccine. Won't say anything about nothing that they're doing. But they sitting here saying, I ain't gonna say nothing because I ain't gonna be out here fighting in war and acting up because God don't want, we need to pray. Oh, that's the biggest scapegoat in the face of the earth is we need to pray. Years ago when I used to teach, people used to come to me and say, Sister Deborah, when I'm out there trying to minister or communicate with people, first thing they say, I'm trying to judge. And you know what I told them? That's one of the biggest scapegoats, along with we need to pray. That's another biggest scapegoat. Those two are some of the biggest scapegoats, because a lot of people think when I say when we need to pray, that that's a key, a person really sincere about the Most High Yah, or you're trying to judge me. Like, okay, that's a way to hammer down the one that's trying to speak the word. You see, they got it real bad. Oh, you trying to judge me? No, no, no. This here is a judge in itself, especially when it says it's a two-edged. It is a judge even when you speak it. So therefore, those who don't understand that it is a judge when they speak it, then when they speak it, they feel really bad because people tell them, "You trying to judge me?" That's a scapegoat, you all. That's a weapon that the enemy had cranked up, along with we need to pray. Because what the men been on this devil platform all this time ain't saying. Only time they use we need to pray, we need to go into prayer, is when they see that they need to be lacing up their boots, or if the fire is kindled, or if the water is getting hot in the world, then now we need to pray. That's so much falseness. Bishops, pastors, leaders, or whoever, Hebrew Israelites, men, whoever, the biggest scapegoat on the face of the earth, because you never tell the people truth in spirit. Now, we're going to Isaiah, and this is 52 and 10. Isaiah 52 and 10, and it reads, Isaiah chapter 52 and 10, and it reads, Yahweh has made bare his holy arm. Yahweh have made bare his holy arm in the eyes of all the nation. See, that arm that we talking about is spiritual, you all. It is Yahweh's arm. He is spirit, and this arm is spirit, but this arm carry the power that'll knock you out. You hear me? And you'll never get up again. That's where you talk about his right hand and his stretched out arm, or his powerful arm. That's why it's so much fear you are to have of him. Because once you really understand the truth of who he is, oh, you'll fear him. But in this day and time, the year 2000, you all on this devil platform couldn't fear him even if you tried. Because it's so much flesh that has gotten dominion over your spirit. And your spirit has not gotten your flesh in control and stepping on your flesh. Letting that spirit of who you are be in control of your flesh, to where you will fear in him. Your spirit will fear who he is. Your flesh could care less. It ain't scared. It don't care. Because that's how they taught you all, and have in many years. And he's gonna deal with all of this. A lot of us think that what we're doing, and we getting success, and we getting recognized, we getting praised, we getting idol. Most of the people on the devil platforms are being idol like a god. And the people who are listening to them, they don't understand you have made these people on this platform your idol. You haven't given Yah the praise. You haven't given him the glory. You haven't praised him and worshiped him. You're praising the people that's teaching you your flesh. Messages to your flesh. So here in Isaiah 52 and 10, it reads, and Yahweh has made bare his holy arm in the eyes of all nations. See that? In their eyes, they know that his arm plays a role. But do they have any respect for it? No. But they preparing for it. Oh, you think they ain't prepared? Yes. They preparing for the war in the heavens, in the space, everywhere they possibly can, because they in underground. Oh, they doing it up. You think it's because of you? They can care for less. They were able to lock you in your house and put a mask on your face without using the 666, the mark of the beast, or a chip in your hand, or the Moshe law. They got you very easy, and no one said a word. You had our men on these devil platform all they was doing is fearing. They was shaking in their boots. And I asked the Most High, God, what is this? They done shut down their messages. You should have seen it. Their messages began to get even weaker. They began to not talk about what they were talking about. They didn't even make any sense in their lessons. In their eyes, you can see the eyes sunk back. Cheeks look like they got bags around them because they're scared now. They ain't telling you nothing. And they ain't going to tell you nothing. You had enough for their full meal deal. And Yah is saying that today. Get out of this. Come out of her. Or you will receive her, he said, plagues. Not Yah's plague, but her plagues. Because Yah ain't got no more time to be plaguing nobody in a way that describe what they're doing. His is to allow everything to take its course according to his will. Without him putting a hand to none of it. Just showing you how he runs. And when it's all said and done, who's going to come? Riding on that horse. That right hand and that stretched out arm in which Yah is suffering me to tell you about right here today. That's what you need to be fearing. That's what you need to be embracing to fight this battle. Not waiting for Babylon to come down. Babylon coming down because he prophesied he would. And no man on the face of the earth, based on the way the men are teaching today, are in righteousness and justice to tell you really how it's going to rumble. But if you listen to what comes out of the mouth of Yah here, not out of the mouth of man. Man in this book is saying a lot of things. They even counteracting each other. They saying a lot of things even against what Yah is saying. You have to be very cautious. That's why he said for you to study yourself. He didn't say you to study to teach nobody none of this. He said study yourself to show thyself approved, rightly dividing the word of truth. He knows that this word has to be divided. How, Sister Deborah? You have to divide what comes out of the mouth of Yah from what comes out of the mouth of man. Once you divide what comes out of the mouth of Yah from what comes out of the mouth of man, what you have left that came out of the mouth of man, then you start to just dissect it in spirit and truth. What is man saying? Are they saying, if he's saying what he's saying, is it spirit or truth? If it's spirit, bam, he's on one quarter with Yah. If it's not spirit, then no. You can't apply everything every man is saying out of this Bible to dictate your life in the year 2020. I'm sorry, they deceived you again. Okay, now, here in verse 10, 52 of Isaiah in verse 10, Yah is actually telling you here, for Yahuwah has made bare his holy arm in the eyes of all nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of my Yahuwah, of our Yahuwah. You see, that's what it's saying. How they gonna see it? You see that right hand? You see that stretched out arm? Y'all better, how was that word they used to say? Y'all better, let me just say it like this. You better get with it. Because you have been lost without a cause. And that's why it says that several times in the biblical. You lost without a cause. Because he saying nothing hidden. It's always been here. So while every man out there be teaching you all, oh, they took this book from here, they hid this from here. Y'all said that's a lie from the pit of hell. You can't hide him from your spirit, man. See, and that's why I love him. Because he got all them T's crossed and them I's dotted. When man try to lie and deceive and manipulate people to start a new religion, to start a new denomination, to start a new belief. Instead of sticking with what Yah is saying out of his own mouth, they decide to make their own movement. And this has gotten you all deceived. So when he do, there's going to be many left out. Even the whole book of Dan, the whole Dan tribe. Have you? No one never. You see, you don't mess with the Most High. Like you think that you just can just treat him like you do man. No. The fear of who he is upon me. I don't play that. But I like how he's saying how the earth shall see the salvation of Yahuwah. And he talks about that on. But see, and he talks about the nation. Listen to how he said it. And Yahuwah has made bare his holy arm in the eyes of the nation. It's everything plainly can see his arm. He said to the nations, they see his arm. They know who his arm is. But the Hebrew so-called Israelites in the tribe of Judah know nothing. Who took it from you? But you so awakening. Now, how's the 8 nations going to know his arm? Huh? And you know nothing. It's because you on this devil platform teaching people things that means nothing, that has no power, that's not anointed, not appointed, that means nothing for salvation, that doesn't teach their spirit how to come on one accord with Yah, and to praise him, to honor him, to fear him in your spirit. None of that. You're so busy teaching all this stuff that don't make nothing, mean nothing, vain and vast, because it's connected to the flesh. Everything they teach is, even the feasts and everything they do is connected to the flesh, to where it takes the people away from spirit and truth. Okay, let's go to Isaiah 53. Let's go to Isaiah 53 and verse 1. Let's go there. Isaiah 53 and verse 1. We're almost done here. Isaiah 53 and verse 1. Who has believed our report? And who is the arm of Yahweh revealed? I should have started this here message off with just that alone. Let's say that again. Isaiah 53 and verse 1. Who has believed our report? Question mark. And to whom is the arm of Yahweh revealed? To who is it revealed? It's a question mark. You see? So have these men on these platforms been revealing to you who the arm of Yahweh is? Have they? Have they been delivering to you how to believe in him and his report? Have they? No, they're so busy feeding your flesh, the things which makes your flesh feel that you are in there and you are 100 with God and you are distant. And the reason why Sister Deborah is wanting to really expound on this message is because to let you all know that you're going in down a dark alley. And everything that's lurking in that alley is coming for you. And because for so long on these platforms you have praised and idled men, it's time to find your spirit in tune with God. Not your flesh, not your teaching, not what you've been taught, but what you know in spirit and in truth. First, recognizing that you have the light that Yeshua HaMashiach came to light, to pour oil in your lamp. Your light is your lamp. And he comes to pour oil. He didn't just come just to pour it in there. He said he come to fulfill it. So you would never have to worry about anything else. What's wrong with that? Why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you desire it? Why ain't you worship him in spirit and truth? Why ain't you? Why is it you on these platforms worshiping man, praising them? Or you sending a good message, you doing this and you doing that, waiting for them to come back on, waiting for them to teach you this, and have no sense to be worshiping Father Yahweh in spirit and in truth. Okay, I like what he said in Isaiah 53 and 1, because he says, who is the arm of Yahweh revealed? Who is revealed the arm of Yahweh? I'm one. Sister Deborah been revealed his arm a long, mighty long time. That's why I can sit here and tell you it ain't nothing to mess with. That's where that fear come in. You don't go messing around with that. That right arm, that arm, that stretched out arm in that right hand. You better watch yourself. I mean that. You better watch yourself. Let's go to Isaiah 63. And this is going on in the Old Testament. Him giving you a taste of where that strength and how he brought you out and what he did for you back in the day. We ain't concerned in that. We ain't concerned only what man says today of what he can do. How do they know? When they don't even know anything about the right hand nor the stretched out arm. You know why? Because it too carries the strength of what is spirit and truth and the power that rests therein. So let's go to Isaiah 63. Isaiah 63 and 12. Chapter 63 in Isaiah and verse 12. That lead them by the right hand of Moses with his glorious arm, dividing the water before them. Now listen to this. That led, let's say that, them by the right hand of Moses. Dividing the water before them to make himself a everlasting name. Now, do you understand that? Now, this is exactly what Sister Deborah is talking about. This is the point I'm making. And that's beautiful there. I like that. Let's read it again. And that's Isaiah 63, verse 12. That led them by the right hand of Moses with a glorious arm, dividing the water before them to make himself an everlasting name. Now, how is it that we as a people do not recognize his right hand and his stretched out arm? That's what parted the water. It says it right there. With a glorious arm, dividing the water before them. We never was taught that. I'm saying we trying to get you all in to where I'm at. Because I know that I really wouldn't include myself. But to pull you on in, I have to pull myself with you. Okay? And what I'm saying is, listen to how he's telling you how he did it with his arm, his glorious arm, his holy arm. Can you get that charge? So therefore, this whole idea is to show you he did that for an everlasting name. That means every nation on the face of the earth, if they don't recognize nothing about the Most High Yah, they recognize when he divided that water with that arm. That's what he said, an everlasting name. Okay, so when he did that, he did this to make himself an everlasting name. So when he parted that sea, he was trying to set an example of who he was. This is what I look like. This is how I rumble. This is how I show up and show out. So in this here, he just pretty much kind of trying to give you an idea where he has had an everlasting name. You know, everlasting name throughout the whole world. I don't care if you go to Russia, China, whatever. Everybody knows that the Most High Yah parted that sea. You see? And this here is basically telling you how his glorious arm played a role in that. Okay? So therefore, you all need to really kind of get more deep and in depth with that right hand and that stretched out arm so that you too may understand who you're dealing with. Okay? So I want you to really kind of meditate on Isaiah 53 in verse 1 and Isaiah 63 in verse 12. I mean, those are some really power punches there. So Sister Deborah is wanting you to see where he said that he did this here to make himself an everlasting name. Have not he did that throughout the whole world in the year of 2020? Everybody on every four corners of the world knows that the Most High parted that water for the children of Israel. Everybody knows that. Even if they got their own belief and they God, they Buddha, whatever, they seem to still believe the sea was parted. That's that everlasting name that the Most High Yah has for doing that. And he talks about his arm, his glorious arm participating in that. So I want you all to understand that it is so important to be in tune with the Most High Yah when he's trying to get you to see him. He don't want you to see man. He don't want to share himself with man because he's not a man that he should lie. He's way beyond a man. And a man concept, the way the man think, the way the man feel, you can't put that on the Most High Yah. He's beyond that. Let's go to Job 35 and 9. Let's go to Job 35 and 9. And we're going to cover this, and we're almost through here. Let's go to Job 35, chapter 35 and 9. Job chapter 35 and 9, and let us read. By reason of the multitude of the oppression, they made the oppressed to cry. They cried out by reason. Now see here, they cried out by reason of the arm of the Almighty. Okay, of the mighty. You see, there go that arm again. You see, you have to be able to go back into the biblical and understand the right hand of the Most High Yah and his stretched out arm, because that's all his power that he's been displaying from the beginning of the Bible to the end. Even when he said, let there be, his right hand power, bam, and it was. We have to recognize that power, because that's what we need to be fearing. He said he didn't give us the spirit of fear, but of a sound mind. The only one we're supposed to be fearing is him. Why? When you know who that right hand is and that stretched out arm and the power that rests therein, hey, I'm going to tell you something. You'll fear him. You'll fear him. But see, but you're not taught that, because on these platforms, they teach you all the strength of every man on the face of the earth. But they don't show you the why you need to fear the Most High Yah, because he's one that needs to be feared, because what he's capable of doing. Not the type of fear that say, oh, I'm so scared and I'm trembling. No, not, it's a love fear that I'm not going to do this, because if he see me doing this, then, or he know that I'm doing this, I'm afraid of what his power might do. He's that right hand that's stretched out. He's that stretched out arm. Okay, and all these verses that Sister Deborah have given you have shown you about the right hand and the stretched out arm. That's showing you that's something you just don't play with. Okay, even when he told you the only reason why he parted the sea, so he can have an everlasting name. And on the face of the earth, he has an everlasting name. Because I don't care what denomination, what religion, nowhere on the four corners of the world, on every corner of the four corners of the world, everybody believed that sea was parted by a higher power. No matter who they called the higher power, they still believed that, hey, that sea was parted. And that made him what? An everlasting name. Even though they might not know the name, they knew the power that rested in to a God. He's a creator. Okay, so let's go to cover this one here in the last verse, and in Job 35 and 9. Let's go to Job 35 and 9. That's where we were heading. 35 and 9. Okay, and you watch Job. You know, he think he had it packed down, because he just knew he had a relationship with the Most High. But watch how the Most High go up against Job. Job 35 and verse 9. Job 35 and verse 9. Job chapter 35 and verse 9. Now listen to this. By reasons of the multitude of the oppressions, they made the oppressed to cry. They cried out by reason of the arm of the mighty. You see that? He's telling you that somewhere his arm played a role. In the oppressed being oppressed. You see? He let you know my arm had a role in that. You knew it. As much as you have taught people on these devil platforms, you know. He sat and told you in Deuteronomy 28, because of what you did, it's what you're receiving in this day and time. See? His right arm, his right hand, and his stretched out arm is not something you can play with. So here in Job, he is even saying that arm is aware. That arm of Yah is aware of the oppression and you being oppressed. Because when he allow and suffer you to be oppressed, oppressed, it's because of something he's trying to birth in you, or to get you lining up with what he feels that can heal you and deliver you. So he allow you to be oppressed for that reason, that you might cry out and turn to him, because his right arm is already knowing what's going on. It got a role in it. And that's a beautiful thing once you understand him in your spirit. But if you don't know nothing about your spirit that can only worship him, and you think your flesh is going to worship him, you're not going to get very far. You have to be in tune with your spirit to know that that's the only way that he said I can worship him is in my spirit. So let me know who my spirit is. And we have to let the flesh be up under our spirit. Okay, and this is going to be the last chapter here, and that's Job 40 and 9. Job chapter 40 and verse 9. Okay, Job chapter 40 and verse 9. And it reads, verse 9, Has thou an arm like Yah, or can it thou thunder with a voice like him? You know, Job called himself trying to check the Most High. He come back and asked him, wait a minute, hold up. Do you have an arm? Verse 9, Has thou an arm like Yah? See, he'll let you know. Don't nothing in the heavens nor the earth have an arm like him. And he's asking Job, because Job called himself being kind of smart and going to challenge the Most High. So he come back to let him know, wait a minute, hold up. Where was you when the stars were planted? See, he know, where was you? And pretty much, which one did you put up there? See? So we can't keep thinking that we can kind of be side by side with him. You ain't nowhere near him that way. Ain't nobody that close to him like that. Nobody. So with this here, he asked Job, he said, Has thou an arm like Yah? Like me? No, you ain't got no arm like me. And then he turned around and told him, what did he say there? He said, Or can thou thunder with a voice like me? Like him? No, you can't. You can't. So he's challenging Job to let him know, you're a man. I'm the creator. So don't try to buckle up to me like I don't know what's going on. I planted everything that is, was, and shall be. Your arm can't compare to mine. Your voice can't speak out thunder. So stand down. See, and that's what Sister Deborah is going to sum this up with you all. It's high time that we understand that we have a spirit and we are flesh. We need to get our spirit, our flesh, under the subjection to our spirit, so we may do the things which is righteous, justice, and good. But if we refuse, then therefore the things that are coming upon us that has already taken course and that's ready for us and that's coming in, we're not going to be able to stand. Know this, that we see based on the lesson that his right hand and his stretched out arm carry all power. It can do any and all things. But if we're not in the right spirit, then we won't look for that stretched out hand, that stretched out arm, nor that right hand to protect us and guide us and lead us. So I, Sister Deborah, say unto you, trust and believe in the Most High right arm and his right hand. For it will lead you and guide you out of any danger that you go in and any danger that you come out. So I, Sister Deborah, I hope you enjoy the message this Sabbath day, and I hope that you gotten something out of it. And I will say I will be back, and shalom and shalom.